Family, a couple of weeks ago I went over the first 10 logical fallacies. As a reminder, a logical fallacy is a false statement that another person gives in order to defend their position. Today will be part 2, as we'll be going over the remaining 9. Let's get started with fallacy of equivocation. This is when the same word is used in different places, but it has a different meaning. Think of it as a homonym. An example would be, evolution states that one species can change into another. We see that cars have evolved into different styles. Therefore, since evolution is a fact in cars, it is true in species. You can see how they're trying to tie the word together even though it has a different meaning in each sentence. Number 2 is a false dilemma or a false dichotomy. This is when the speaker gives you 2 options or choices when in reality there are more. Here's an example. It may sound like, do you like broccoli? The obvious 2 answers are yes and no, but maybe you like broccoli made a certain way, so there can be multiple answers. Also, typically, this fallacy will tend to be closed-ended, where it's assumed that you'll give a one-word answer. Number 3 is genetic fallacy. Here's where the other person will either promote or attempt to discredit a claim strictly based on its origin or irrelevant history. An example would be, Crystal was a troublemaker as a teen. Now that she's a realtor, I can't trust her. Or, because the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, I refuse to buy a Toyota. Although the origin or history could bring up some red flags to be cautious about in some situations, it doesn't present concrete evidence of proof. Number 4 is guilt by association. This is when someone rejects an argument or claim because they like someone who is disliked by another. I know the definition can be confusing, but it'll make sense in a second. So here's an example. Your friend has been to jail 3 times. That's why I can't trust you. Or Fidel Castro likes cigars. That's why I hate them. Hopefully those examples helped. Number 5 is non sequitur. It's when the speaker says something that doesn't logically follow the premise or conclusion. Simply put, it's a statement that makes no sense at all. Here's what I mean. I just finished washing the dishes. I don't understand why you can't find a decent pillow to sleep on. By the way, that was just one example, not 2. Here's another. I know why I do well in math. Because I wash my car with warm water. I don't think that there's anything else we need to say about this one. So, number 6 is poisoning the well. This is when the other person says something negative about you before you even start talking in order to discredit you. So an example would be, I present to you someone that has failed his whole professional life, not to mention his egotistical attitude. Let's see what he can teach us today. Number 7 is red herring. This is probably the most well-known of all logical fallacies. This is when the speaker talks about a topic that's not related to the subject. It may sound like, I did forget to do laundry yesterday. Nothing I do makes you happy. This is a common form of manipulation. The speaker can take the topic focused on them and turn the tables to make it about you. Another example could be, I know your phone isn't working right. Had you called your carrier yesterday, you wouldn't be having this problem. You should be able to see a pattern. Ultimately, any topic could end up with the fingers being pointed at you. Number 8 is special pleading. Although you may not have heard of it called this, it's just a double standard. Here's an example. Those rules don't apply to me because I'm older. Or you can't possibly understand breast cancer because you're a man. Basically, it applies to one person, but not the other. Last but not least is the straw man argument. Here, the speaker gives a weaker argument of the truth and attacks it. This one could sound like, we know that evolution is not true because we don't come from monkeys. Well, I agree with the statement. Saying that we don't come from monkeys doesn't prove that we don't come from monkeys. That's what's meant by a weaker argument. Don't expect any concrete facts here. Well, we're officially done with all of our logical fallacies. There's so much more that I want to discuss about apologetics, but the only way you'll be notified is by lightly tapping the subscribe button and poking that bell icon. As always, let's finish by praying Psalms 19:14 to God. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Until next time, family, God be with you.